What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Big Fight Fuel channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give out takes on the Miami Dolphins. It is Sunday night, October 22nd, 2023, and this is the post-game recap video right here on the Big Fight Fuel channel for the Miami Dolphins and the Philadelphia Eagles after the Dolphins take their second loss of the season to the Eagles, 31-17 on Sunday night football. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm thrilled with the outcome of tonight's game. Would I have loved to beat the Eagles? Absolutely. It would have been a big win for the Dolphins. But I'm not mad. I'm not even that frustrated after this loss, because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't give a fuck what the national media wants to say about who the Dolphins beat. Listen, it's not the fault of the Miami Dolphins that the NFL are giving us who we play every single week. The Miami Dolphins don't get to pick and choose who we're going to play every single week, because you look at the schedule in the beginning of the season and you think some of these games are going to be tough. The Patriots are always a tough game, okay? The Jets going into this season looks like a very good game. The Giants, they're a playoff team last year. These games, the Chargers, they were a playoff team last year. I don't give a fuck what Mike Tirico says on commentary and says the Dolphins have beaten teams with a combined record of 5-24. I don't care. I don't pay attention to it. It goes one ear out the other. I don't pay attention to the national media. What I focus on is the game in the upcoming week for my football team. And this week, I'm going to be honest, I told you guys here that I did not expect the Miami Dolphins to win this week. And, you know, they didn't win. I'm not mad. I'm not disappointed. I'm not thrilled. Obviously, the Eagles were the better team tonight. The Eagles came more ready than the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins were dealing with an injury bug going around, and it started on the first drive of the game when Isaiah Wynn goes down with an ankle injury. I hope he gets to play next week against the Patriots, because they have some good defensive linemen over there. But, you know, I'm not mad. And what makes me more loose and more relaxed is, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I was cheering for the Patriots to beat the Buffalo Bills, and I did not think that the Patriots were going to beat the Bills. I thought the Bills were going to run them out of the building in their own stadium. The Patriots took the 22-10 lead over the Bills. The Bills marched down, scored a touchdown. I'm like, the Patriots are absolutely blowing this game. 2 plays later, Kendrick Bourne fumbles. The Bills score a touchdown, and Mac Jones leads the New England Patriots down the field for a game-winning touchdown drive to Mike Gesicki, of all people, the former Miami Dolphin, and the Patriots beat the Bills. So you know what? Even after this loss today, the Miami Dolphins have a 1-game division lead over the Buffalo Bills. And that's what matters to me. Tua was healthy. We have some concerns. Jalen Waddle wasn't himself tonight. Isaiah Wynn's hurt. David Long is in concussion protocol, which means he's probably not going to play next week against the Patriots. So next week, even though the Patriots are 2-5, they're coming off a big win against the Buffalo Bills. And it's going to be a big game for the Miami Dolphins, because they have to get back on track before they play the Kansas City Chiefs in Germany. And then they get that Week 10 bye. And then hopefully after that, they start getting players back. Jalen Ramsey, back practicing. Teron Armstead. Devon Achane. Xavier Howard. Connor Williams. This team gets back together. Hopefully we get this team 100%, and we got things rolling. So I'm not concerned about this game at all. The Dolphins lost. And another thing I'm going to put out there, I'm not going to blame this game on the officiating, because I'm just not that type of person. But the officiating was terrible tonight. Awful. 11 penalties called for the Miami Dolphins compared to 0 for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'll say this. Did the Dolphins have penalties in this game? Absolutely. But if you're going to call the penalties for the Miami Dolphins, you have to call them for the opposite team. And they did not do that. The officials missed a lot of calls. The obvious one, face mask on Cedric Wilson by James Bradbury, which was not called, and it was a blatant, obvious call. You have the interception by Tua, where Zach Cunningham has his left arm wrapped around Raheem Mostert, and he's not even looking for the football. No pass interference on that call. David Long was strangled on a run by DeAndre Swift. No holding call on that. No holds on Lane Johnson. No holds on Jordan Mailata. But anything small for the Miami Dolphins, they get flagged. And most of the plays, they were legit flags, but some of them were just absolute horrible calls. Horrible. And, I'm not blaming the game on the refs, but I'm going to call it the way it is. They were pitiful tonight. Absolutely pitiful. So we're going to go over this game, the Dolphins and the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. We're going to go over this game as fast as we can because I got class in the morning, which I'm not looking forward to. Let's do some stats before we get into this game. Tua Tagovailoa, 23 for 32, 216 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Tua didn't have a bad game, but Tua didn't have a good game either. It was very much in the middle. He played okay, but not good enough to beat this Eagles team tonight. Raheem Mostert had 9 carries for 45 yards, and that's basically all they got from the run game tonight. The run game was non-existent in the first half, and it's one of the main reasons why the Dolphins offense was so slow and so, out of sync in that first half because they were not able to run the ball on this Eagles defensive line. Whenever they ran the ball, Hassan Reddick was there for a loss of 3, a loss of 4, a loss of 2. He was there all game long. Tyreek Hill, 11 catches, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. Even though he got almost 100, he got 11 catches. I don't think Tyreek Hill played a good game tonight besides that 1 touchdown catch. Yes, he got some nice catches for you, but the Dolphins were down 20. They were down, I think it was 24-17 at this point. Or it might have been, it was 17-10. And Tyreek was wide open. And Tyreek dropped a touchdown. It was going to be a wide open touchdown, and it's incomplete, and that's the play that they called face mask on Cedric Wilson for. That was the play right there. It might have been whether it was 17-10 or 24-17. I don't remember, but that was the play in the game. Tyreek dropped the touchdown, and it cost it. It probably was one of the reasons why the Dolphins lost was because Tyreek dropping that touchdown. So he was not great tonight. Jalen Waddle was banged up in this game. He came away with 6 catches for 63 yards. Cedric Wilson had 2 catches for 48 yards, and that was pretty much it for the Dolphins' passing game tonight. Jerome Baker got a pick 6, which was really nice. Bradley Chubb got a forced fumble. He got 2 sacks. Jalen Phillips got a sack. And that was it. The Miami Dolphins got 3 sacks on Jalen Hurts in this game. Then we go to the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, 23 for 31, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. DeAndre Swift, 15 carries, 62 yards. Jalen Hurts, 11 carries, 21 yards. Most of those carries came from that stupid tush-push rule, which is so frustrating. And I really hope when this season's over, the NFL bans the tush-push. I really do, because it's super annoying. And Kenneth Gainwell had 8 carries, 16 yards, and a touchdown. A.J. Brown, when Xavier Howard was ruled inactive, you knew this guy was going to go off tonight for the Eagles. He had 10 catches for 137 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, 24-17 game, third down. Let's leave Kohu on an island with A.J. Brown. Good call, Vic Fangio. Dallas Goedert, 5 catches, 77 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Smith, 4 catches for 49 yards. And DeAndre Swift had 3 catches for 13 yards. So, let's get into this thing. Let's get into this game. The Dolphins and the Eagles. The Dolphins won the coin toss and they deferred to the second half, which I'm starting not to like, because whenever McDaniel and the captains defer for the second half, the defense always, more likely than not, allow points on the opening drive. That's how it is. That's how it is. So the Eagles get the ball first. They go 12 plays, 71 yards, and they take up over 7 minutes of clock. 3rd and 2, DeAndre Swift for 3 yards. We'll go 1st and 5, DeAndre Swift for 7 yards. 3rd and 8, Jalen Hurts to Dallas Goedert, who turns it into a 22-yard catch. Jalen Hurts deep to Dallas Goedert again for another 22-yard catch. Kenneth Gainwell for 1 yard, and then on 3rd and goal, the Jalen Hurts runs a QB draw up the middle for 3 yards, and Jake Elliott kicks a 24-yard field goal, and the Eagles take the 3-0 lead. Miami goes 5 plays, 13 yards, and on 3rd and 15, Tua throws an incomplete pass where pressure was getting in his face by Jalen Carter, I think it was. He throws it incomplete to Raheem Mostert. Kendall Lamb steps on Isaiah Wynn's ankle, and Wynn is out for the game. Prayers for him. We need him next week against the New England Patriots, because they've got some good pass rushers on that side of the ball too. We need Isaiah Wynn. More likely than not, he's been very good for us this season, and that's a big loss if he's going to be out for an extended period of time. The Eagles get the ball back after a 31-yard punt from Jake Bailey. On 3rd and 8, Jalen Hurts is sacked by Bradley Chubb, who forces a fumble, and it's recovered by Christian Wilkins. A big play for the Miami Dolphins defense. Bradley Chubb coming up with the big turnover there and giving the Dolphins offense field position at the Eagles' 23-yard line. 3rd and 9. Tua went to Jalen Waddle, which Mostert and Waddle were really close to each other, and it looked like a scary pass. But Jalen Waddle came down with it for 16 yards and a first down. Tua, he went short to Tyreek Hill, and this ended up turning into a 5-yard loss. Then this play killed us. 3rd and goal at the 12. Tua throws it to Tyreek Hill for a 12-yard touchdown. And the backup left guard, Lester Cotton, gets called for a offensive holding, which it was holding. And I'm glad it was holding, because if Lester Cotton didn't hold Josh Sweat was going to destroy Tua. So I'm actually okay with that. And then on 3rd and 22, Tua incomplete to Tyreek Hill. Jason Sanders makes a 40-yard field goal, and the game is tied 3-3 as we go into the second quarter. Eagles go 9 plays, 61 yards in 4.5 minutes. DeAndre Swift for 7 yards. Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith for 8 yards. 3rd and 1, no gain for Kenneth Gainwell. The Eagles get the push-tush, but it doesn't matter. Offside on Zach Seiler, which that play is nearly impossible, because these players are getting down so low to try to stop Jalen Hurts and to try to stop the offensive lineman. It's impossible. It's impossible to stop it. The way these people are pushing Jalen Hurts past the first down marker, it's ridiculous, man. It's horrible. I hate the push-tush. I'm sorry, Philly fans. I love you, but the push-tush sucks. Second, you want to talk about bad flags. Don't even get me started on this one. Incomplete to DeAndre Swift. Christian Wilkins gives a light shove to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts flops, and Wilkins gets called for roughing the passer. At that point right there, I knew the referees were on the side of the Philadelphia Eagles for this game. Right there. They're like, Miami's dealing with the injury bug already, and they're dealing with the officials. It's fucking brutal. And then 2nd and 19, screen pass to Dallas Goedert, turns into a 19-yard touchdown. Eagles up 10-3. Dolphins go 3 and out. Eagles take up nearly 7 minutes on the clock. They go 12 plays, 80 yards. A.J. Brown, 10-yard catch from Jalen Hurts. 3rd and 4, Jalen Hurts scrambles for 5 yards. And another 5 yards is tacked on because Eli Apple gets called for holding. Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith for 13 yards. Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith for 3 yards. 4th and 3, the Eagles go for it instead of kicking the field goal. And this play really pissed me off because they got pressure to Jalen Hurts. Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips got pressure, but they didn't finish the fucking play. They didn't go swarm Jalen Hurts for turnover on downs. Instead, they let him throw the ball, and Perry Nickerson, Perry Nickerson is on an island with A.J. Brown. You guys know how that one ends. And then Jalen Hurts up the middle for the tush-push touchdown. Eagles are up 17-3 at this point of the game. It's looking like all Eagles, and they're going to run away with this one. But the Dolphins get a big response before halftime, and they don't go quietly into the night. 8 plays, 72 yards in 2.5 minutes. 2nd and 6, they did it behind pass to Cedric Wilson. So stupid. No one was open. He took a 7-yard loss on a sack by Josh Sweat. 3rd and 13, Lester Cotton gets called for a false start. And 3rd and 18, Tua throws his best ball of the night, I'm going to call it, to Cedric Wilson, who gets 2 feet down and a first down at the Miami 49-yard line. Beautiful throw by Tua in a tight hole. Cedric Wilson comes down with it for 29 yards and a first down. That was absolutely Tua Tagovailoa's best throw of the night so far in this game. 1st and 10 at the Dolphins 49. Tua to Braxton Berrios for 7 yards. Tua to Tyreek Hill for 15 yards. Tua to Jeff Wilson for 4 yards. Tua then sacked by Nolan Smith. And on 3rd and 8, Tua to Tyreek Hill, burns James Bradbury, gets by the safety, 27-yard touchdown. Dolphins are down 17-10 going into halftime. They're in the game. They have life, and they get the ball to start the second half. I'm feeling a little bit better about myself going into halftime than I originally did when we were down 17-3. So, the Dolphins, they get the ball back to start the second half. They go 8 plays, 23 yards, and they punt. Tyreek Hill for 17 yards on 2nd and 8 at the Miami 29. 2nd down at the Philly 42. This was really what killed the drive. An offensive holding call on Julian Hill, which I'm going to be honest with you, man. I did not see anything on that call. That's, again, the officials killing momentum for the Miami Dolphins. One of the more painful calls they made on this game. The Dolphins were driving right down the field. They'll get to the Eagles' 35-yard line, and a flag comes flying out, and it's called against the Miami Dolphins. Fucking shocker. 3rd and 19. Tua to Raheem Mostert for 6 yards. Dolphins have to punt. Eagles go 5 plays, 18 yards on 3rd and 5. Pass deflected by Eli Apple to A.J. Brown. Then the Dolphins driving down the field again. 6 plays, 43 yards. Raheem Mostert gets a run for 21 yards, his best run of the night. Raheem Mostert for 15 yards. This was the drive he was picking up all his rushing yards. Tua to Tyreek for 5 yards. Incomplete to Tyreek Hill, which I believe that play was the touchdown he dropped. That was a crosser right down the middle of Tyreek Hill, and he dropped it. So that would have been a tied game right there. And then 4th and 3, they go for it. Tua throws it to Cedric Wilson. Face mask clearly on James Bradbury. No call whatsoever. And it's turnover on downs for the Miami Dolphins. Luckily, and this was a lucky play for the Dolphins. Karma's a bitch. Jalen Hurts drops back to pass. Pass is deflected by Kader Kohou. It falls into the lap of Jerome Baker, and Jerome Baker takes it to the house for a 22-yard touchdown. The Miami Dolphins are tied with the Philadelphia Eagles, down 17-3. They're tied. And at this point in the game, I'm feeling a little bit good about myself, but I still got that knowing back in the head that I don't trust this defense, that the Eagles are going to go down there and they're going to get points. That's exactly what happened. 8 plays, 75 yards, first play of the fucking drive. Javon Holland and David Long Jr. collide into each other. Both of them are hurt. Javon Holland came back into the game. David Long did not. He was in concussion protocol, and he's probably not going to play next week against the New England Patriots. So, we got a little bit of momentum, and then we go 1 step forward and 5 steps back. It's okay. It's okay. Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith for 25 yards. Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown for 8 yards. 3rd and 7, Jalen Hurts to Dallas Goedert for 10 yards. And then piss poor tackling by Andrew Van Ginkel and Kader Kohou. Jalen Hurts throws a 14-yard touchdown to A.J. Brown. And then we go into the fourth quarter. The Miami Dolphins have a chance to tie this football game at 24. They had a chance, and they blew it. The drive was going really good, too. And then once they got into deep Philly territory, shit hit the fan. Tua to Jalen Waddle for 14 yards. Austin Jackson's called for a false start. It's 2nd and 12, incomplete to Tyreek. And on 3rd and 12, the Dolphins needed 13, and Tua got 13 to Jalen Waddle and a first down. Tua does a nice back shoulder pass to Cedric Wilson for 19 yards. Tua, the motion was off. Everything was off in this play. The bad snap from Eichenberg. The motion by Savon Ahmed. So Tua just goes down and takes the loss. Loss of 3. Then Eichenberg fumbled the snap. Tua picked it up. Threw it to Jalen Waddle for 5 yards. And then this play was the game right here. Once this play happened, the game was basically over for the Miami Dolphins. 3rd and 8. Tua throws to Raheem Mostert. Zach Cunningham has his left arm wrapped around Raheem Mostert, and it's intercepted by Darius Slay. That pass was going to be intercepted anyway, but as a bad pass from Tua, it was not a good decision, but once again, no pass interference call for the Philadelphia Eagles. They get away with a free pass with Zach Cunningham literally hugging Raheem Mostert with his left arm. They get away with that one. And then this is basically game right here. Eagles go 13 plays, 83 yards in 6.5 minutes. So many fucking tush pushes on this drive. Made me sick. Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown for 4 yards. 4th and 1. What do you know? Tush push up the middle. First down. And I believe at this point, they were going to punt the ball. Then Sirianni called timeout. And they went for it. And they got the tush push for 2 yards and a first down. 3rd and 8. Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown for 7 yards. And it sets the Eagles up for a 4th and short situation once again. Jalen Hurts up the middle for 2 yards. And another tush push. 2nd and 10. A.J. Brown for 6 yards. And then on 3rd down, Christian Wilkins gets called for offsides. Great. First down. And then at the 50-yard line, Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown for 42 yards, leaving Kader Kohou on an island with A.J. Brown. I'm sure that one was going to work out perfect for the Dolphins. Sarcasm, folks. It's sarcasm. And then Kenneth Gainwell gets 3 yards and a touchdown. And that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. From Lincoln Financial Field, the Miami Dolphins fall to 5-2, and they lose. They lose to the Philadelphia Eagles, 31-17. Again, the Eagles were the better team. The Eagles were the more physical football team. That was my main concern going into this game as to why the Dolphins were going to lose. It's because the Eagles are a much more physical team than the Miami Dolphins are. The Dolphins are all about speed and quickness, and the Eagles are all about grittiness and we're tougher than the opponent. They beat us in their home field on Sunday night, wearing their Kelly green uniforms, and especially after today, when the New England Patriots upset the Buffalo Bills. The Eagles needed this game more than the Dolphins did after the Eagles lost last week to the Jets. And Xavier Howard and Connor Williams, before the game started, I was upset that they weren't going to play. But looking back on it, it's actually the right decision. And I don't know if New England beating Buffalo had a play in it, but you're now protecting your players. I'm hoping we get one of them back, hopefully both of them back next week against the Patriots. It's a big game. It's a big game. I don't care that they're 2-5. They're coming off a big win against the Buffalo Bills, and the Patriots always play the Miami Dolphins tough. And last time we played the Patriots, we beat them on Sunday Night Football 24-17, and it came down to the last fucking play of the game. But now, they're coming to our house. They're coming to South Beach. They're coming to Hard Rock Stadium. It's going to be 1 o'clock on a Sunday next week, and the Miami Dolphins are going to be rocking their white throwback uniforms next week against the New England Patriots. So I'm not mad. I'm not frustrated by this loss. You learn from it. You watch film. You prepare for the Patriots. Let's go to fucking 6-2. We need this win next week in New England. Philly, I love you. Good game. Go Phillies. Beat those fucking Diamondbacks tomorrow. And let's celebrate, man. Because the Phillies are 1 win away from going back to the World Series. So, I am getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel for some more content. I will be going to Miami in December. Monday Night Football against the Tennessee Titans. It's going to come up very soon. and I will be vlogging, of course, for that game, which is very, very, very exciting. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we will have more Dolphins content coming up, man. And we're also going to have a Sixers video. Yes, we're going to have a Philadelphia 76ers video coming out this week. I'm going to try to make it for Tuesday night if the Phillies don't play Game 7. If the Phillies do have a Game 7 against the Arizona Diamondbacks, I'm going to push it back. Probably Wednesday, maybe even Thursday, but it'll probably be Wednesday. Basketball starts this week, man, and I want to talk about my Sixers because I got a lot to say about them. It was a strange offseason for the 76ers, where teams around them in the East got better, the Celtics and the Bucks, and I feel like they didn't get much better than they were last year. So we're going to talk about it at some point this week on the channel. We'll also have Week 8 picks. We'll have the preview for Patriots-Dolphins on Friday. And then Sunday, right back here on the Big Fight Fuel channel, post-game recap video for the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Leave a comment down below if you're a Dolphins fan or if you're an Eagles fan. If you want to say go Phillies or you want to talk some shit, I don't care. I love Philly fans. If you want to talk shit, go ahead. I'm not going to get in an argument with Philly fans. I'm just not. I got too much respect for them. And follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph. And I will see you guys on the next video. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. I'm out. Peace. And as always, fins up.